Hey guys and girls, I'm James and welcome to the channel. Today we're taking a look at another beginner mini drone, but not any beginner mini drone. Guys, this is the coolest beginner mini drone I'm ever going to review. It's the DEERC D23. Not only is it really cool looking and it has a camera, but look at this. It lights up. Isn't that cool? And so once you get it bound with the controller, you can also change what the lights do. If you're a kid, isn't that fun? Or if you're even a big kid like me, this thing can be a blast. And the reason why I've always said it's really important to start with the beginner mini drone, and I've shown this guy 100 times, but most people go out, they spend a bunch of money on a drone. If they don't know the orientation, that's what they come home with. So it's really important to learn the orientation of the drone as you fly it with the controller. That way when you go out, it's safer for you, your drone, and everyone around you, because you're able to control it. And I've always said the HS210 is the best beginner mini drone to learn on because it just flies so good like a drone. There's no latency on the controls, it's quick and it just turns on a dime. But this one doesn't have modular batteries, so it's really hard to slide the battery in and out and plug it in, where this one has modular batteries and this one has a camera. But the problems with these drones, if you don't have any agenda and you're just flying it around, it can get bored pretty quick. So adding the lights to this and the camera and it being pretty inexpensive is one great feature. Also, this one has covered props. Like one of my favorite little drones is this HS340 that flies really good, but the props aren't covered. And the problem with these, they're brushed motors. And what a brushed motor is, it's like two brooms or brushes spinning inside of a magnet. And if something happens to one of these props and you stop it, that electricity goes through that broom or that brush and sticks to the side of the magnet and it welds it to it and it ruins the motor. And can you change the motors? But it's more trouble than what the drone is really worth. So does it fly as good as the HS210? Well, let's put her up in the air and find out. And I'll fly it inside. It's really windy outside. I'll fly it just for a minute outside, and then I'll fly it in a dark room and show you how cool the lights are. And then I'll come back and I'll show you how to get the remote hooked up to the drone, how to get the camera working through the app, and all the functions of it. And then I'll give you my final review. So let's go put her up in the air. All right, well, let me show you some pictures before we go fly it. I mean, the camera takes really good pictures. Of course, they're 720p and it records everything back to the app on your phone into a gallery, and then you can download it to your phone. And this is me holding it and taking a video, and then this is me flying it and taking a video. Of course, it's a little drone, and it's in the wind, and it's going to be real choppy, so it's not going to get cinematic photos, but I'm real impressed with the camera and the color saturation. There's my dog chasing it. So here we go, and we're flying it outside. It's really windy. Go straight to speed 3 when you're flying it. The wind will really grab it and take it away, and especially if you lose control. If you start to lose control, don't forget you can hit the top 2 buttons and it'll fall out of the sky. Also, it'll do 360 flips and it'll also spin around you, and it's also got a boomerang thing, so it's got all kinds of fun things to play with. When you start, be sure you keep the camera pointed away from you in the beginning until you get the orientation of it. Oop, the wind blew it in a tree. Because if the camera's pointed away from you, then it's easier to control, because everything's reversed when you come back at you. As you go outside and practice, or practice inside, every time you fly it and you go through each battery, it'll get easier and easier. So it's also important every time you crash it to reset the gyro. So put it on a flat surface and pull both sticks down and to the left, and that resets it. I'll go over more of that when we go inside and show you how to hook up the app and everything. Here we are flying it inside. Look how bright these things are when it's dark. I mean, I'm ordering 3 more of these, and I'm going to make a race course in my backyard, and I'll make a video about us racing them. I mean, look how bright this is. So in the beginning, I wouldn't worry about the camera. I would learn how to fly the drone first, because if you're worried about the camera and how that's working, you're not going to be paying attention to the way you're flying it. Also have an agenda. Don't just fly it around aimlessly or you'll get bored, even though it's pretty hard to get bored with these really cool lights. Learn how to change the lights on it and learn how to do the different directions. So this is really nice when it's raining outside, or even if it's dark and you want to fly your drone. You can have a lot of fun inside. Get more than one with you and your friends. I mean, isn't that cool how they switch? And then you can make it rotate like that. You can put on a pretty cool drone show if you really practice with you and your friends. You know, and actually I think it's easier to fly at night, because when you have the lights on just in the front or the back, it's easier to know the orientation of the drone, kind of like that. So I was really curious if the lights burn the battery down. So I ran a full battery with lights off And it's supposed to get 7 minutes of flight time, but it actually got 7.5 minutes. So that's really good. So I landed it, switched the batteries, and flew a full another battery with the lights on. And it only cut it down by 30 seconds. And it got a full 7 minutes with lights on. So that's good. So let's go inside. Let's see what she weighs. So let's go over everything about the drone now, how to get the app working, the camera, and all the functions of the drone. All right, guys, let's see what she weighs in at. She weighs in at 50 grams, right on the dot, which is about the same weight as like the Holy Stone 340, and which is about twice as much as like the HS210. So how much is 50 grams? Well, 50 grams is about the same weight as 2 boiled eggs. Oh, wait a minute. It's about the weight of 1 boiled egg. All right, guys. So it's a really cool drone. If you look real close, the lights are 4 little LEDs in here, and they can change colors. And what I like about it is they have the blue props in the front and the white ones in the back. And it does come with a charger that you actually can plug 2 batteries in at the same time. The light will be red and it'll turn green whenever they're finished charging. It takes about an hour, hour and a half of charging. And as you saw, it got about 7.5 minutes with the lights off and about 7 minutes with the lights on, which is actually really good for these. So the drone also comes with extra props, a handy dandy screwdriver. So this prop removal tool, if you do somehow bend one of these props, the only way I've ever done it is my dog caught it midair and bent one of the props. But you have to use the prop removal tool to remove the prop. If you try to pull it out, you're going to pull these little wires out, and then the drone's kind of useless to you. So be sure and use your prop removal tool. And to do that, you have to take these 4 off, and then you can kind of bend it up a little bit. The battery is 550 milliwatt amp battery, which is about double what the HS210 is. In the front, the camera's pointed straight, which is really good. The last mini drone I reviewed, the camera was kind of pointed down, and you had to put it up real high to have a look at you, and that was kind of a pain. So at least the camera's pointed straight. And as you saw from the footage, I mean, it's a really, at 720p, I couldn't believe how good of photos it took in the video for a drone that's under $50. So to turn it on, there's little buttons right here. And they're going to blink until you turn the remote on. So when you turn the remote on, and don't even worry about using the camera in the beginning, just learn how to fly the drone. So when you turn it on, it's not bound to it. The remote is not bound to the drone yet. So to bind it to it, you go up and down on this side. So it's up and down. It'll blink, and now it's bound. And to set the gyros, make sure that it's on a flat surface. So there's a gyro in the ECU. And so what you do is you pull it down and to the left. And you'll hear a double beep, and it'll blink again. And now the gyros are set. Make sure it's on a flat surface, because if you set it this way, then when the drone takes off, it's going to think that this is level, and it's not going to fly good. Here's how you change the lights. And you got all kinds of options. You can have them blinking like that, have them blinking fast, just in the front, or off, or just in the back, or off. And here's your takeoff button. So, as you see, I pressed both these down and it killed the motors. Over here, you press this one to take a photo and this one to start a video, or press both of them to kill the motors. Your speed switch is really important if you're going to fly it outside. When it takes off, it's in speed 1. So when you're flying indoors, you want to fly it in speed 1. But when you press this button, you hear the 2 beeps. Now it's in speed 2. Hear that? Now it's in speed 3. So that's the top speed. So if you go outside and it's windy, you want to go straight to speed 3 or it'll blow away from you. Be careful flying outdoors. You may want to start just indoors. Then a long press on this side, it'll do a 3D flip in the direction. So when you press down on it, it'll beep at you until you push it in the direction you want it to flip, and then it'll flip in that direction. Your trim button is you hold down on this button for a long time, and then you push these in the opposite direction if you want it to go. So, and otherwise, if it seems to be drifting to the left or to the right, you hold down on this button and adjust this. Takes a little bit of practice, but you'll get the hang of it. So a long press on this one makes it circle around you and does a circle fly. That's pretty cool. So it comes with a really nice instruction book, and to get the app to work, you want to go to page 14, open up your camera, and it'll take you to their website. You download the app, it's this DEFPV. Then you open up the app, but it's a Wi-Fi drone. So the first thing you got to do before you even do anything is you got to turn the drone on and go to your Wi-Fi, because the app won't work if you don't do this. Best to make a pre-start checklist, even on a drone that's not a GPS drone. So you go to Wi-Fi, DEERC FPV, and now this iPad is linked to this drone. So you go back to the app, go ahead and turn on the remote. Now it's bound. Exit out of there and push this to open it up. And now you see that the camera's on. It doesn't like to be flown on an iPad, does it? So up here is everything. I say don't use any of these functions. I mean, I don't even think the takeoff worked up for me. So if you push the takeoff button, it doesn't even work. So don't even worry about any of these. The only thing you may want to use is to take a picture. You press it, it'll take a picture. And there's a picture, and you can start a video, and it has a little countdown here. And also you can go in here, and now I can look at the photos that I took and the pictures. So that's all you really want to use this for on the app. And if you try to look at your phone, these small drones moving around so much, you'll lose orientation. So it's best to fly the drone line of sight, but use the app for videos and take pictures. So let's go back for our final review. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching my review of the DEERC D23, the little mini drone with the camera that has a light. Guys, I put this one at the top of the list. I know I've always said this is the best one, but this one flies just as good. It's really easy to control. There's no latency. It's got the cool factor of the camera and the lights. So if you bought a kid one of these little drones, would they be excited? Yeah, but not as cool as this. Just the aesthetics of seeing the lights just makes it more exciting to see the drone fly through the air and keeps your interest longer. The longer you're flying it, the better you're going to get with the controls, the better you're going to learn how to fly your drone, the more things you can do with it. Like what I'm going to do, I'm going to order 2 or 3 more of these, and they sell these noodles at the dollar store, and I can stick them in the ground with a little spike or even make some little gates. And I'll make a video about that with me and my friends flying these around at night and trying to race them and have more fun. And won't that help your skill set of how to fly a drone? So as always, if you got something out of this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.